Hi everyone, I'm Donna Stellhorn, your practical astrologer, and today we are talking about the solar eclipse. It is on March 29. It's at 9 degrees of Aries. This is the last Aries eclipse that we're going to have until October 2032. And then on March 30, Neptune goes into the sign of Aries for the first time in 164 years. What does this mean for you? That's what we're going to talk about. For those of you who are new, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. We're going to do a short overview, and then we're going to look at your sign in particular and love and money. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you would like a copy of your chart so you can follow along in these videos, I'll send you a PDF. There's a link in the description. An eclipse closes a door in your life, and it forces you to move forward. We had 18 months of Aries Libra eclipses, and this put a focus on yourself and one-on-one relationships. And 2 weeks ago, we started the 18-month cycle of Virgo Pisces eclipses, where the focus is on taking our spiritual ideas and our vision of what could be and applying this to our daily lives. Eclipses disrupt the status quo. And as disruptive as they are, it is almost always the case that we look back on these times and think that it was necessary and beneficial. But at the time, it can feel uncomfortable. This particular eclipse is at 9 degrees of Aries. I give a 5-degree orb. That means if you have any planets between 4 degrees and 14 degrees, you are getting hit by this eclipse. If you have planets in Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn, you're getting a harder hit. And if this eclipse falls within 5 degrees of your birthday, you are getting a direct hit. So that means that some aspect in your life is going to change. We'll talk about where the changes might be for you when we talk about the individual signs. But it is beneficial for you to look at your life and what you have been wishing to change, even though maybe you're not feeling ready for that change. Because when you ask questions like that, when you say what should change in my life, what could change in my life, you are starting to train your mind to look for opportunities. Now, we had a very similar eclipse back in October 2024. It was on October 2nd, and it was at 10 degrees of Libra. Libra is the opposite sign to Aries, and so there is a similar energy. So think about what was happening back in October of 2024. Maybe you are finishing up some of that energy with this current eclipse, or maybe you need to make some additional changes in that same area of life, or maybe somehow you avoided making a change then, and now the changes are happening. Now, besides this eclipse, on March 30, Neptune goes into the sign of Aries. It did this last time on April 13th, 1861. Now, for you history buffs out there, you may recognize that date. That was the day after the Civil War in the United States began. And so that back then was all about divisions, and right now we are a very divided people. Energies like this tend to repeat, giving us an opportunity to improve and make things better. Neptune represents our vision, the idealized version of what we want to create in our lives. But it also rules nightmares and fear. And so it's both the utopian ideas and the dystopian ones. It's two sides of the same coin. Since our thoughts become our actions and our actions become our life, it's important now to find the vision of what it is you want to create in your life. And then you'll be able to work to make that a reality. Now, I know that does not sound easy in this world today, but it's worth trying. It's worth working towards. And with Neptune, it doesn't mean keeping your head in the clouds. Your vision may include very practical things that you're doing, maybe in your community to fight for your kids' education, or to keep books in schools, or to have equality and opportunity for everyone. And then soon Saturn's going to enter the sign of Aries. And so with Saturn, the ideas that you formulated using the Neptune energy, then the Saturn sees as blueprints, and it starts constructing your life. Okay, Gemini, this eclipse for you really lights up your area of community. And so it may be necessary for you to get out of the house a little bit more. Now, you already do, or you're good about connecting, but if you now could connect with groups, even the smaller groups, just so that you can exchange ideas and see new possibilities, and whole worlds will open up for you. So this is possibly something you can do online, but in person probably be better, just so that you can feel that energy. Gemini, you have the gift of adaptability, which means you can shift or change as new circumstances arise. So, and you can do it better than the other signs. In fact, you can take us by the hand and lead us through this changing landscape. So, but it's important during this time that you keep your lightheartedness, that you keep your sense that this is fun. And so think of business as being a game and love being a game and all of these things, and approach it with this sort of, this is going to be fun, and I'm willing to take a risk, and I'm willing to roll the dice sort of energy, and you're going to find that you can prosper. Now, if you would like to know more about what's ahead for you in 2025 and 2026, I do readings. There's a link in the description. Now, when it comes to love relationships, specifically new love, Mercury is making an out-of-sign conjunction with Venus. That means that love is quite possible, but the out-of-sign part means that there's something different or unusual about either how you met or the circumstances around it, or there's something very different about this person than you've ever dated before. So this is something where if you go to unconventional places or you do new things, you're more likely to meet someone, or allow somebody to fix you up with someone you've never met before. Now, when it comes to existing love relationships, Mercury is not making an aspect with Jupiter, but Jupiter's still in Gemini, and Gemini is ruled by that Mercury, so you have a hidden aspect. And so you may feel like you're not getting along so well, but there's an underlying strength to the relationship. And so you can kind of drop back into that energy and feel, comfortable with your partner, and remember why the two of you fell in love in the first place and how you got together. So this energy is going to, all year long, you're going to have periods of where there's some real harmony, but then because Mercury moves back and forth, it can get out of sync. Right now, it is in sync, it's just not quite as obvious. So you want to capitalize on that and strengthen your relationship by being close and really understanding each other. Now, when it comes to your money, you pull money from the moon, which is in part of this eclipse, obviously, and this is very similar to that eclipse back in October. So it would be a good idea to go back in your schedule or in your journal or in your mind and find out what you were thinking about doing last October. Did you follow through? Did it work? If it did, why not do more of that? If it didn't, why not do kind of an autopsy of what worked and what didn't? If you didn't do it at all, consider why you were procrastinating, what was holding you back. Maybe circumstances have changed. So this is about looking at what you could have done before or maybe did do, and doing an analysis of that. Now, when it comes to money from business or from investments, the moon is not making an aspect with Saturn. And so things are kind of status quo. They are moving along as they usually have. The interesting thing, because this lights up your area of community, you may find future money outside this 2 weeks by doing some networking, connecting with new people, and finding like a new group to run with. Now, when it comes to money from your career, so that would be a paycheck, there's no aspect going on between Moon and Mars. However, they are in what we call mutual reception. So Mars is in Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon. Moon is in Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars. So these two are having this kind of behind the scenes conversation that's going on, and it's a very equal conversation. So this is kind of like when you approach your boss for a raise, they say, no, okay. And so because there is this hidden connection, this is a time to pursue it gently, going in and, thinking things through and presenting, your ideas of why you should get a raise and, the evidence that you deserve it, all of this. But there is more of a hidden connection here than you may know. And so if you get that first negative answer, you could continue to push just gently, because that could give way to something very positive. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Consider signing up for my newsletter where I talk about astrological happenings every week. And if you would like to know personally what is up for you in 2025 and 2026, I do readings. There's a link in the description, and I will see you in the next video.